Islam was brought by the sword and will die by the sword, its own sword. This has been a popular thought for centuries, but there are historians, intellectuals and political analysts that would disagree with this statement, saying that the expansion of Islam was coincidental to the general expansion of the Arab world. I do not subscribe to this convenient veil that has been cast over the actions of Islam in an attempt to sanitize a most violent religion and culture. Unlike other major religions, Islam today is still not just a religion, it is much more. It is a philosophy and a legal and political system not unlike other religions in the past. Christianity behaved in a much similar manner for many centuries until the evolution and development of democracies. Today, other religions, for the most part, do not act as they did centuries ago, but large sections of Islam still adhere to the early doctrines, and many Muslims take the philosophy to the extreme, regarding anyone who is not a Muslim as worthless, and the many other Muslims who do not adhere to the extremist point of view as no better than a non-believer. It has left in its wake a trail of death and destruction. At the height of its influence, often referred as the Islamic Golden Age, from the 8th to the 13th century, it made great advances in science, economic development, and cultural works flourished, whilst it conquered many foreign lands. Only once after this period did Islam achieve a balanced greatness, during the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent. Under his rule, science flourished and all religions had the right to worship in his domain. Today, Islam finds itself in turmoil. Contrary to most Western governments and media reports, Islam is not one specific entity. It is different things to different cultures and countries. A Muslim worshipper is not the same in Brunei or Indonesia, Malaysia or Pakistan, Saudi Arabia or the Philippines. Like so many religions, cultures, or nations, when attacked by those without, they come together to defend, but afterwards revert back to the issues that divided them. From its earliest beginnings, there was a schism in Islam. Islam split into two main groups, Sunni and Shia, of which Sunni, also known as Al-Sunni, which means people of the tradition of Muhammad, is the largest denomination, with approximately 75 to 90% who believe that a caliph should be elected by the community. Shia make up around 10 to 20% of all Muslims and believe that Muhammad appointed his son-in-law, Ali ibn Abi Talib. There are other sects and offshoots in Islam. What is very seldom discussed by mainstream Muslims and the media is those brought up in the Muslim religion who choose to leave it for various reasons. The percentage of those leaving, or at least do not believe in Islam but are concerned about making their opinions public, is quite high. Someone who leaves Islam becomes an apostate and will almost certainly be thrown out of their family, who will be the first ones to abandon them. They will be rejected by their friends and risk being persecuted or killed. Muslims who are gay are another group which find themselves in a dangerous position. Homosexuality is a sin, punishable by death, so the number of openly gay Muslims is not very high. There is a popular myth that Islam is the fastest growing religion. This is due to the number of Western converts highlighted in the media. However, what is less known, or highlighted in the media, are the number of Muslims leaving the religion to become Christians or non-believers. All Muslims, whether they are moderate, orthodox, or have left the religion, live under the oppression and threats from those in charge, who use the religion for their own self-advancement. Like any religious leader who screams fire, hell, and brimstone, it's about them. Is it the singer or the song? Of course, Christianity in all its various forms behaved and still behaves in certain countries in a similar manner. Crusades were on the surface about restoring Jerusalem to Christianity. However, many of those on the Crusades were there to enrich themselves materially and a few spiritually. Both Christian and Muslim casualties are estimated at 2 million. Religious wars have plagued mankind for millennium, and today mankind faces the extremist Muslim cult known as ISIS. Its mantra is simple: do as we say or you will die. Islam is on the verge of self-destruction. Whatever tolerant and acceptable traits that exist within the religion are far outweighed by the constant rhetoric of Islam being superior to all other religions, and anyone not in the faith must become Muslim or die. As Islam spread throughout the Middle East and Europe, it waged hundreds of wars of oppression and subjugation. Christianity had its own fundamental wars and persecutions of non-believers. From the Spanish Inquisition, estimated 5,000 victims, to the 30-Year War, where 10 million Christians died. Catholics and Protestants spent centuries at each other's throats. The recent resurgence of conflicts within Islam and Islam with other religions and cultures highlights the internal disagreement and conflicts of the religion.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
One then must ask the question, is Islam compatible with Western culture? It seems not only to be a religion, but a religion that regards anyone of another religion inferior or not worthy of life. A religion that is so shattered that it persecutes those within that do not adhere to the strict authoritarian dictum of the extremists. One then has to ask the question, is multiculturalism a real thing? If so, is it workable? It is a convenient word with which to hide the many problems that occur when one puts several diverse cultures and religions together in close proximity, expecting them to appreciate, understand, and tolerate each other when they have come from very insular and self-absorbing positions. Certainly what is happening in Europe and the US with regards to Muslim migration is untenable. Recent Islamic migration to the West is not the same as previous Islamic migration. Prior to 1980, the migration was small and this allowed proper integration. The immigration situation today does not allow or encourage the acceptance of the new culture by those entering the country. In fact, the government of the day seems not to have a coherent strategy for educating immigrants about British culture. This situation exists throughout Europe and to a great extent in the US. That there is a problem with Islam is highlighted by the number of previous Muslim immigrants that have integrated and raised concerns that the new wave of immigrants hold very extremist views. Will Islam progress past this point or get sucked into the extremist vortex destined to destroy it and all those that venture too close to the edge? I don't know.